Hi, welcome to Switching Mindsets. Today we're speaking to Ajith Anirudhan, and as you know, this is Anuradha Verma. Ajith is a life coach with specializing in the niche of personal empowerment, allowing people to be the best version. Today we're going to talk to him, among other things, about how to convert New Year resolutions into small, achievable goals. Hi, Ajith, how are you doing?
Very well, very well. Thank you, Anuradha. Good to be
Yeah.
here, and always good to be in conversation to give a thought which is personally mine, some that you could connect with, and see how best it fits in your lives.
Right. And we were just talking, and I'd like you to introduce yourself better. Like you were saying that, life is about, for you, it's about focusing on the mundane aspects of life, shedding light on those aspects. And it's not just about speeding up, but also slowing down, right? And so that you
Yeah,
can live life at your own pace. It's not a race, you
yeah,
said. So could you just
yeah.
talk about more that you do and how you connect with people?
So the beauty of life is that if you're a Maruti car, you should fit into the speed limits and working condition of a Maruti car. If you compare it with a Ferrari, you're going to have a bit of a challenge driving uphill or downhill. So sometimes it is about optimizing what best fits your life uh, instead of making compare with the lives of others or that you see on social media, which has sort of become a benchmark in everyone's life because you're always seeing the glossaries of great lives, but never knowing the pain that is behind those pictures, which have been shaded in different colors as a projection, and but not the reality. Uh, so to put it in brief, it's about the sunrise, which is personal. You choose to see what you have to see. Uh, it is as magnanimous as you envision it to be. So, so it's about finding that spark in you, those little things that you're still better off, highlighting it and helping people see the better version of themselves that they are able to carry with a little bit of an effort as they walk out to the real world. And it's an experience continuum. It's not a one-stop fix and you dress up and you go to the event. It is every day you wake up and you find that person in you which is beautiful, which is well spoken, which is kind, to come and face the real world outside that. So that is who I help people identify with. All the little things that make them that beautiful person.
Right. It's very interesting you say that because I'm just a lot of how we perceive ourselves, how we see ourselves is in relation to others, right? Whether we are intelligent or whether we are smart or whether we are well dressed or, like you said, whether we are beautiful inside and out. So, how does one get over this thing that, you get up in the morning and you see yourself maybe at the core of what you are and you are complete? Or you're a unique person, however you would like to tell us. So, how do you do that without seeing yourself in relation to others?
The beauty of it is we're often not very kind to ourselves. The whole exercise uh, is to shed light on what you are and not what you're not. Shed light on what you could be, not by a leap, by small steps. So you set goals to improvement, which are reasonable, achievable, encouraging you to take the steps necessary to get to that space. It's not when we always scared of the big sleep because we most certainly know in our mind that we fail. It's easier when the steps are small, but still sounds good because your body just registers a win, whether it is big or small. Your body registers a win and acknowledges, wow, I can do this too. But when you do these little things, one step at a time going forward, you realize that you're capable of a lot more. And your body will be more embracing to a change and a challenge rather than anticipating a failure. The moment you win very often and then you fail once, you still embrace it. But I'm better. I've learned a bit more. Though I failed, it might not be the time to leave. I can put in another small effort till I get as good as one can be to take that leap. So it's all about personal improvement, how you nudge yourself forward to the next step in life, to the next challenge, to the next conversation. And be okay with the outcome because you're responsible only for what you deliver, not the outcome. So be the best version of you, do the best you can, and be okay with whatever comes about. So that's the concept and the thought process and the mind shift I would like to leave people with. So so they are able to see better for themselves.
Yeah, what you said, basically, it's small achievable goals. Otherwise, we're just setting ourselves up to fail. And very nice. I like that line that you use, the body registers a win. So if it's small wins every day or every week or something, it propels you to move ahead. And like you said, if
Absolutely.
you have a setback, it's okay because you won so many times, that takes you ahead. So,
No, the setbacks also, what the beauty of it is, uh, for one to be told that even in failure, you're better than when you started. So
right.
there's a certain amount of work that has been put in before you failed. So that work still registers as progress. Though the marks card might show fail, your second attempt is with a certain amount of learning and be okay with that.
Yeah, absolutely. That's true. You're progressing. Yeah.
We
So,
normally negate the whole effort, the work that has been put behind, the effort that has been put behind, the time that has been put into developing or preparing for that particular leap. But the thing is, you're no more the same person. The moment the effort is put in, you are transforming to the next person. So you're always better trying something than not trying at all.
yes, absolutely. You're already that person that you aim to be,
Yeah.
yeah, on that road. Tell me, Ajit, what are the things that people come to you for as a life coach, as a personal empowerment coach? What are they struggling with? What are their challenges? Is it just, I want to be the CEO in 3 months, or I want to earn so much money, or is it also about peace of mind? What are the different things that they come to you for?
I go by that saying that winners seek help. And I think we are all entitled to find out who we really are and how much are we worth. Conversations can be had with many people. It could be your friends, your colleagues, your parents, your elders. Uh, but that conversation does not allow you to be vulnerable. Vulnerability becomes a very critical aspect where life coaches across the world today are able to tap into that real issues that are limiting you. The challenge with today's world is that we are too scared of being judged. Uh, though we have well wishers, say for instance, you have a business that you're starting up. There's some thoughts that are concerning you and have been troubling your mind for a while. And you come and speak to a family member or a brother and say, okay, I'm thinking of starting this business. I'm going to quit my job. Uh, a lot of them might give you the reply saying that maybe you should wait for some more time. This job is stable. uh, what happens is you kill the dream before it happens. So you haven't allowed for the seed to sprout and grow into some kind of stable plant before you add manure and other things for it or ask for a gardener to help it out. So in the very budding state, in the fetus state, it dies. So the nurturing part of a thought gets killed if it is not addressed by people who are coming from a non-judgmental sphere, accommodating that conversation where you put everything in a basket, look at options that are viable and that are not, and come to a conclusion as to this is what I want to do, this is why I want to do it, this is what I might have to let go, and be okay with all of it. And what I don't have, this is what I need to put in or invent or bring in to support to make it happen. We normally like to speak of the things we can do, but we don't want to address the things we cannot. So we push it under the carpet. The conversation will be all about what we can, not about what is limiting us. In that case, what happens is you're setting yourself up for a failure, because that has to be addressed to make it possible, you know. So from my perspective as a coach, I specialize in personal empowerment. It is about uh, identifying the potential of who you can be personally. That will include your health, your relationships, your communication skills, your management of time. And when you're going through transition, the personal turmoil you go through, I help people with health transition also when you're going through a surgery or you're having an injury. Uh, you need somebody to help you take that step every day, be an accountability partner. And with my background of being in the fitness industry for 15 odd years, uh, first to start with, I'm very passionate about it. And second, and the most important thing is that no matter what you have at play, what goals you have, if you have a headache, it's not worth it. So your physical body has to be in good shape along with your mental state to be able to create that dream that is viable and experienceable by you. So no matter what your win is, if you're not physically able to experience it and live through it, it ain't worth the effort. So starting from your physical wellness, your mental wellness, and who you can potentially become in the society and the sphere of influence, what contribution do you make? Make that special, make you more important than what you presently are is my goal as a personal empowerment coach.
Right. And I like the term you used, accountability partner.
Yeah.
So, yeah. And it's
Because
very
sometimes it's challenging because when we are changing our habits, it's always nice to know somebody is checking on you. It sort of gives you a personal commitment. Okay, I've told my coach that this is something I'm going to invest in and update him as to my progress is this. This is effort I'm putting in. And it's never normally about what needs to be done. It is about who you have to become to be worthy of the goal you're aspiring for. So even when you're training, it's never doing that 50 reps into 3 or shoulder, chest, legs, so many days, this is what I do. That never makes you fit. You have to align your day with people who have achieved those goals. They wake up at 5 in the morning. This is the quality of food they eat. This is the meditation time they take. This is the amount of water you drink. This is the kind of exercise you do. This is the amount of sleep you get. So you have to become that person with all these qualities, not all at one go, but you scale it up to be as close as possible. Become that person who's worthy of that goal, who's earned it. And it's never about the little things that work that's put in. Personal transformation is what gets you there.
Yes, and the transition takes time. As you said, it's a journey.
It's in continuum, and it is every day. It is a scale up or a scale down or something different that needs to be done to groom you to be there.
Yeah. And a coach's job is basically to listen. Like you said, if somebody says that I want to do this, and a family member, a friend might say, "Hey, listen, you have a stable job, don't risk it." So, you say the dream is not even nurtured. So, in that case, we are also guilty of doing it to ourselves, right? So, how do we learn to listen to ourselves, not gaslight ourselves? That's the term these days. We don't gaslight ourselves. Yeah.
No, but the unfortunate part is they say be very careful what you think and speak of, simply because you're the first one to hear it. When you hear it, uh, Anuradha, this is one thing that we should understand very clearly. Our whole system works on energy. Energy manipulated, controlled by flow of hormones, and which is triggered by thought process. So we are much more complex than what we think we are. So when we think negative, it triggers different chemicals, and it's got an aftertaste. It's not that there's a surge of chemicals and then it's let go. So it sort of builds on the thought process. It's like a brick put in place. So the next time a similar thought comes, you put in the next brick. Then it becomes a wall. Once it becomes a wall, the purpose is lost. So it's always about having thought process with the intent in place. So even if it is negative, you should put down the intent as to why you think it's negative and what are the ways out of it. So there is a progressive thought there. So the brick is not laid. Get what I'm saying? So
I
it's
do, yeah.
very tricky. It's very tricky how the human body experiences a thought, and the more we understand that, we will know for sure as to why we have to do the things we do to make it better for ourselves.
Yeah. So, the intent, even I really believe, and I've seen it in my own life, if you go with the right intention, with a very clear intention, things usually fall in place. So I've experienced that myself. But, you hear so much about manifestation and thinking positive. If you think negative, the negative reality will, take place. But it's so much pressure, because so how
No,
does
you
it
should
work
not
really?
think. You should not think. See, the beauty of it is under the very simple thing. Okay, you dress your child up in new clothes. Okay, the way the child interacts with every person that day is different. Forget a child. Even us, when we dress ourselves in new clothes and the way we go out, there is an aura you go out with which is positive, where they know people are looking up at you. So it's an experience which is created inside. It's not the clothes. Wearing those clothes has made you feel a certain way, wherein you think somehow you stand out. You're looking better than normal.
Yeah, or
You
you're
made an effort.
ready to face the world, really.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It's similar to somebody tapping your shoulder and say, Anuradha, man, you got this, man. You got this under control. I can see that spark in your face. The moment you go with the thought process which is ignited, the way the universe receives that positive energy is different. It's not that you are any different. You're putting out that energy into the world which is getting embraced. And so the experience becomes. So manifestation is to be mindful about giving yourself that little nudge saying, Anuradha, you're good. And you step out into the world. The moment you're able to consciously do it or mindfully make an effort, okay, I'm going to have this conversation and I'm going to be okay with the outcome. I'm going to put in my thought the way I think it is. Being able to speak your mind is the biggest barrier breaker anybody can go through. People are always wondering what the reaction will be. They don't have to. You might as well speak your truth. You don't have to manipulate the conversation in your head and rephrase it so many times that it doesn't make sense anymore. So sometimes it's about giving that little tap on your shoulder and say, Anuradha, you're good. And you go outside and meet the world just the way you are.
It's not about thinking so much, but just feeling it, really.
Just making an effort to say, Anuradha, you got this.
Yeah. Nice. Yeah,
Because we
that's
have no control on the experience of your conversation, what another person would have, or what will play out. It's always about uh, it's always about being true to yourself. See, at the end of the day, you will be in harmony if your behavior is in line with your thought. So if you're able to express yourself, whether it is affection, whether it's anger, whether it's emotions, uh, whether it's something that you wish to speak about, if you can be in harmony with your thought and be able to express yourself, you're already in a space which is fantastic.
Yeah, harmony, and I think it also translates into a certain confidence.
Confidence that you start trusting yourself.
Yeah,
See, if the amount of time we fail us, if we were to be employed, we would be fired
yeah,
because
absolutely.
we fail ourselves all the time.
Yeah. Yes, especially
And I
because the
think
negative self-talk and things like bias.
biases,
Right.
yeah, the mental chatter that we have in our head, the assumptions we come across in conversations, most of it is not real. It's not going to play out at all. So instead of carrying a small bag, we carry a whole suitcase and walk around and making it impossible for us to just deliver what we actually can.
Yeah. Any positive affirmations? Does that work? Can you, I mean, would you be up to suggesting anything that one can, any positive self-talk really?
I think the most profound one I have seen and I have recommended people to write on their mirror is I'm enough. Uh, Not that you're some cat, but to believe that you are enough and complete by yourself is a great point of start. That has to be drilled into our mind because we are breaking into old traumas and understandings of our limitations. It could be from your parent, and as I said earlier, it can flow down through our teachers and experiences that are not in line with where you've been happy. But constantly looking at I'm enough is a great point to start from. Gives you a lot of strength. Acceptance.
Yes, very powerful actually. I'm enough. Yeah, very powerful.
I've actually made my kids write it on their uh, dressing table, on the mirror, because what you constantly see, it leaves a print in your mind.
Yes, so that's a lovely thought for parents to do that to children early on.
Yeah,
Yes.
right from when they're small.
Hmm.
So what happens is you stand in front of the mirror every day, 365 days into a number of years. You're seeing that on the face all the time. It leaves an imprint, a certain level of confidence that it's possible. I could hold the fort. All wars are won in the mind. If if you fail here, you fail everywhere. I see people struggling being in the fitness industry with weight loss. People who constantly speak that they're not able to lose weight will never lose weight, no matter what they do. Because a boss sitting here should believe that, yeah, I'm on the right track.
Yeah, it's all
And
in the head.
negative self-talk will change the way your body functions. Because here, everything will be coordinated, the hormones, the way the food is digested, what needs to be absorbed, everything is masterminded by the CPU upstairs. And that should be in sync with what you're going towards, you know. It doesn't help raving the engine with the handbrakes on.
Yeah, so many times, like you said, that like I'm enough. I need to maybe start going to the gym. I'm like, no, if this is in place, if that is in place, if this person goes with me, or if I have this, then maybe. But if I'm enough, then okay, let's do it. Yeah, let's do it.
No, I'm enough is also an affirmation to self that there is a possibility of better.
Right. You can achieve
Now
anything.
you now you made mention of the gym. So as we transition to wellness, right? I help people with habit coaching. The thing is, we see so many videos on Instagram. We follow so many fitness professionals. We're trying to set bars too high. We're not capable of getting that now. But we are capable of setting in a process. So in habit coaching, I help people set the process in place. It's about getting to the gym, working out 10 minutes and coming back. The day you miss the gym, you walk instead. You're not limited to a time. Some people say, I have to work out from 5:30 to 6:30, when they have never woken up at 5:30 for the last 1 year. It's not going to work. So you have to have a shift in the process in your mind as to when you will do it, when it is convenient. Make it likable. You want to put in a habit, make it like a treat. Don't make it like a punishment. So you put it in such a way that you start your workout an hour before breakfast or an hour after before tea, or you have dinner after the workout. So the things you like breakfast, lunch, and dinner would be a gift which is complemented after your workout. So start with 15 minutes a day. You'll be surprised at the impact 15 minutes a day or 20 minutes a day can do in 6 months' time. It changes you as a person. And what you repeatedly do accrues to a lot greater than what you do incrementally whenever we can. They say you
Yeah.
add 3 hours to your life. Every day you work out. Whether you have all the bad habits on earth, you will still add 3 hours to your life if you put in an hour of workout every day.
And what you said that if you can't go to the gym, go for a walk.
Yeah.
So, yeah, so you don't
But
feel that
you
sense of
promise to yourself that you'll do something.
yeah, so there's no sense of failure as well. Oh, I didn't go to the gym,
Yeah,
but I did this. So there's, like you said, the body registers a win. That yes, I did this.
exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. And the thing is, after you nudge yourself to do this, uh, you're likely to get into a space that you miss a day, for instance. You'll be okay with it, but next day you will put in work again. That commitment should fall into place. That transforms you as a person, and you become the person who has earned the place to be looking as good, or feeling as good, or feeling as light. So it's a transformation in the personality that matters.
Yeah, the person that you want to be, right? The person who
Yeah,
goes to the
exactly.
gym, the person who's fit, the person who has a healthy lifestyle, you become that person
Exactly.
bit by bit.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
And also what you said that, your maybe your breakfast is waiting for you, your tea is waiting for you as a
Yeah.
gift. So
Yeah.
I think that's also part of what the book I remember reading James Clear's book
Yeah.
on
Atomic habits.
Atomic Habits, right? So he talked
Yeah.
about habit stacking, I remember, and I love that book.
Exactly.
Yeah, if you could
No,
also
but it's
explain.
true. People, you like a reward, you're human. You want to see everything about our relationship, and we are in a conversation. We want the takeaway should be a smile. Your body wants to feel energized, happier. Any conversation that is not so happy, it doesn't leave a good taste in your mouth when you leave. But the whole thing is the moment you stack up habits which are rewarding, similarly to break habits. So make it tough, like a smoker, like in Atomic Habits. He says that you want to stop smoking, make it as difficult as possible. So you buy one smoke. So every smoke you want to have, you walk up to the shop, get one smoke, and you make it inconvenient. Then wash up, refresh, so that you're not smelling of smoke. So you focus on the things that is going to make it difficult, helping you wean off the habit.
Yeah, and it's so simple, these steps, you realize that actually habits are very powerful, what you're saying. And what you
Yeah,
said, that I'll wake up at 5:30 and go for a walk. it reminded me of myself. I've never wake up that early in life.
Yeah.
So it's better to,
No,
put it in between
no,
other
keep it
routines.
realistic. Keep
Realistic.
it realistic.
Yeah. Before
So,
breakfast, before something. Yeah.
the beauty is somebody takes workout as, you have to do 30 minutes cardio, 45 minutes weight training. It's not necessary. Work on the process. So in the first 1 week, you get up, get dressed in track pants, don't go to the gym. At home itself, walk around for about 10-15 minutes, do some stretches, do about 10 minutes of breathing, do some wall push-ups before you take a shower. It's a great start.
And before you know it, it's a routine. Before your shower, you do all this.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. Exactly. So what happens is if we are all slaves to our habits, huh? If you look at our routine, even the way you clothe yourself, there is a certain sequence. And that is the only sequence you would have been following for the last 20 years. You will not even change one sequence in it because it is registered in as a default program that works.
Right, like wearing the right shoe first or the left shoe first,
Yeah,
things like that.
everything. So we are all, we like it to be as easy as possible. So whatever default modes have been set, which works for you, unless you mindfully want to change it, it's not going to change. So you pick up the right habits that are working for you first, then pick up things that you can do without. Today, one of the biggest habits most people would like to break is being on social media.
Do they
If
really
you,
want
if
to
you,
break it? I don't know.
no, but that's a challenge. But the thing
Yeah.
is, it's constructed in such a way that I don't just go and see Instagram. From Instagram, I'll go to Facebook. Facebook, I go to LinkedIn. LinkedIn, I come back to WhatsApp. Then there will be an Instagram link. Then I go back to Instagram. And before you know, you're burnt out an hour.
You're right. You can't ever go on it for just a minute,
You
right?
can't.
Yeah.
Not even one click.
Yeah.
Sometimes I go to Instagram for a certain reply. I go there, I put in the reply, and then I come back to WhatsApp, then takes me back to Instagram. So what happens is you're in a constant state of distraction where nothing is planned well for your life. So time management is something I help people with. How
Yeah.
do you manage time? How do you disconnect as much as possible? So in the recent talk that I had, one of the quotes I said is, if you have a speed dial on the phone, when last did you call them? Because we haven't invested in people that actually matter. But we are
True.
constantly distracted in social media with people who have very little to do with your life or your well-being or your growth. So personal wellness is about constructing a space where you are fully nurtured. You're clothed well, you speak well, you feel well, you're confident, and you meet the world.
Yeah. So coming to, New Year resolutions, what are the most common ones? And let's see, resolutions are all about when the next year comes, I'm going to do this, right? So many things. I'm going to fight less with my partner. I'm going to spend more time with children. I'm going to call up my friends from school and make sure I talk to them once a month. Things like that. So many things, or like you said, wellness goals, etc. So tell me maybe at this point you can maybe tell us about some people who've come to you, specific issues, how you've helped them.
See, for me, I would like them to start with the concept that there is nothing specific that you can fix on the New Year's. There's nothing that is going to give you the drive to correct yourself on New Year's that you cannot start today. So personal wellness is where you exist. That's your universe. So that will include your spouse, your children, your parents, the surrounding you stay, your personal health, your personal time that you have spiritually, commitment to society, your financial health. they have to be put and highlighted, and wherever there has to be corrections, needs to be done in however or whichever way one is capable of today. The importance is to have it written down and acknowledging the shortcomings and doing something about it. See, we know, each one of us know what needs to be done. Okay. We are all smart. Like I said, I'm enough. And that's true to the last bit. But what are we willing to give up? Because inconveniencing ourselves is something we wish to avoid, though it is important enough, but better for you. So make those right choices and make those conversations that never happened before. Make sure it happens. That is how you transform your life journey. Make it whole or wholesome about it. And you have to be selfish about it. It's not that you're doing the other person a favor. You're doing this as a favor to yourself, because you will be moving into a space where you have nothing constricting you. It's inclusive. And everybody is a part of who you are becoming. You know, it's like this, when we put in a destination on the Google map, um, it doesn't show you all the way up to the destination. You only see the next few miles ahead. Though you see only the next few miles ahead, when you're driving on the road, you have to slow a bit. You have to negotiate. You have to move around the pothole. You have to be careful not to hit somebody on the way. It's everything in continuum. There's not a fixed. We only have a direction that is fixed and a purpose and intent that is fixed, but it's constantly negotiated with no assurance of a result that you won't knock the guy in front of you. It has to be a constant engagement through the journey towards a certain destination, which is well intended and planned to be there safely and happily while enjoying the journey.
Yes. And how can one do that? Can you give some examples of maybe your clients, or I can give you some instances of maybe becoming less patient? I mean, more patient, less impatient, or like you said,
Less reactive helps.
less reactive. Or so how do you break that down into goals? Or even like you said, keeping in touch with friends, people on your speed dial. How do you, one or two instances of how do you actually break it
So
down to do it?
my constant belief, and what I speak to most of my clients is, don't expect to withdraw from something you haven't invested in. So whatever is your prime infrastructure, what keeps you well, invest in those people. Because we are social beings. Though COVID has made some drastic shifts in the way we behave as people because of the isolation and being locked into your own space and finding peace with that. But eventually, for us to be well, we have to be connected with our social surrounding. We work on touch, we work on emotions, uh, we work on these little joys of life that actually keeps us alive. Breathing doesn't keep us alive. It's the purpose of breathing that keeps us alive. And that's critical about our journey. So invest in the people, invest in the time you spend with them. Be the first one to make an effort. All for yourself, not for the others. Because that makes you an active player who has decided that this is going to be better for me.
Yeah, and should one chart out a schedule or a routine? Like every Sunday morning, I'm going to call up one friend, or once a month, I'm going to go out for a dinner with somebody. Does that help?
A great place to start is with your breath. Did you feel yourself breathe today? Very few people do. A great place to start is to know that you're alive. You actually focus on your breath. As you breathe in, you can feel the cold air getting into your body. And as you breathe out, there is warm breath that comes out. Thousands of it in a day. We don't even acknowledge it. We should.
Mindful awareness, basically. I guess it centers you. Yeah.
It centers you, and it's a great thing to be alive. A great thing to be alive, to be breathing every day is a gift, and gratitude is a great place to start with. Is to first acknowledge how blessed you are. Blessed you are to walk, blessed you are to breathe, blessed you are to eat, blessed you have shelter, blessed you have family, blessed you have somebody who's calling on you and checking on you, saying, Anuradha, what's up? How are you doing? Long time. We are blessed in so many ways. But most of us, unfortunately, is shit, I should have done this. Shit, I should have got this more. I could have done a lot better this year. We constantly somehow drawn to the lack and the light of things. It's a great idea to plan certain days to initiate the process of connecting with your parents, with your siblings. Some of them sort of might not be the greatest of people. See, but that's a reality. But it's still a relationship of respect by its sheer being there. You deliver what you can. Because nothing grows unless it is taken care of. Anything that is not taken care of dies, whether it's friendship, relationships, whatever it is. So make sure your part is always rendered in full. It's very fulfilling for ourselves. It's like when we take the trouble to water plants in our balcony, why can't we do that with human relationships, which actually means something and which might walk you through life, isn't it? So commitment to do certain things, like I said earlier, right? We so disobedient that we could get fired. We plan so many things we seldom do. Okay. Start doing little things. It takes a few seconds. Make those uncomfortable calls, for instance. Even when it comes to work, a lot of them avoid. We procrastinate. Basically, we are not sure of the outcome. If you are sure of the outcome, we'll be happy to make the calls. You know what I mean? We're limited by our own thought, like you had mentioned. The mental chatter is something which stops us in life. Be okay with the outcome. Make that call. I make all the uncomfortable calls first thing in the morning, which I know for sure is going to be a challenge. But in my to-do list, those are the calls right there at 9:15 to about 10:15. But what I've realized with time is that at least you know where you stand. And 90% of the times, what we conclude before the conversation is not necessarily the outcome. It's far better than it. So make that call.
Yeah, it's worse in your head
Yeah,
than in reality. Yeah.
yeah, absolutely. It's terrible how we cook up things in our head.
Yeah. And what about being less reactive? I guess mindful awareness and, focusing on your breath is a great way to do that as well.
That's an interesting topic because we are all reactive unless we get to a state of mind where we are mindful. Okay. When you talk about breath, you would rather the other person don't have that. When because what I've learned in time that has worked well for me is that if it is relationships of value, especially, you tell them, okay, Anuradha, I know it sounds important to you, but I'm not in a frame of mind to address it now. Can we speak about this a little later? Because a good measure to approach this is the tone of the voice in the conversation. So the moment the tone of the voice is not in sync, uh, you cannot expect that other person to be embracing your response. So it's always best that you uh, move it to another time. Tell Anirudhan, let's sit tomorrow and talk about this. And
That's
don't
a
engage in it.
that's a good way. But also, how does one let off steam if one has to, or does one need to?
Let off steam in the sense, like if
You're
he's angry,
stressed. Yeah, if you're angry or you're stressed about something, something's making you feel frustrated about a situation or something, anything,
yeah, people say listen to music, meditate. It's very difficult when your mind is in turmoil. So do something which distracts you. Everybody has got his own way. I listen to music and I just go for a walk, not thinking about the conversation, and then coming back to what it could possibly mean. A great way to a great way to work on things that disturbs the flow of thought is to write it down. So I normally use something called a shit list. So something that really messes my head, I just write it down. And then I write down the things I'm able to control in that conversation and the things I cannot. So accepting the reality of for what it is. It could be something very important to the other person. But are you in a position to deal with it? Do you want to? And why should you? Is something you have to have clarity on. So writing, I think, like when you're talking about affirmation, I think one of the greatest thing a human being can practice is to write. I think a conversation for an hour, if I were to write it down, it would take me at least 7 hours because one needs to articulate and make sense of what is scripted. You being a journalist, you'll know better about this. But the thing is, there's power in writing because there's a lot more thought that has to go into picking up the words that actually make sense. So when you articulate a situation in detail, uh, this is a practice I normally do with my coaching too. Is that when somebody wants to work towards a goal, is that I allow them to write 500 words about why that goal is important for them. When they get there, how do they see themselves? What would have they accomplished? The moment you start writing down, there are a lot of people who come back and say, shit, man, that's not the goal I'm working towards. I would rather have this and not that. Then the goalpost changes. And that's okay. That's the most important thing. Is that if you're striking at a goal and it's missing all the time, don't shift your intent, shift the goalpost. The idea is who you are today, and as you transform, who you are, say, 2 weeks later, are different people. And so will the goals change. Your idea of a goal will change. So once you scale and grow, everything changes. Maybe it's not bodybuilding after 6 months. Say you want to work on endurance. You want to be agile. So you're looking at flexibility and agility. It's a different routine. So you transform. But then it's all progression onward. So as we change, everything changes with us. So don't fix yourself, is my thought when it comes to setting goals, because that might not be where you want to be. So give it direction. So there is a reason why you will need to take that first step. But once you start, then everything changes. That's the way the universe works.
Yeah, like you said, start today. You don't have to wait for the
You
new
start
year
today. The
to.
US doesn't. No,
Yeah.
I have never seen anybody commit to a resolution just made for New Year's Eve to and achieve it. but it's what you do from Christmas to New Year's or from New Year's to Christmas that matters, not Christmas to New Year's.
Right. And another thing you mentioned, while you were talking about this, that you have to also choose to stay away from a situation or engage in it when you're writing down your shit list, what you called it, very effectively, So that again, yeah, we were discussing earlier before the call that there are a lot of situations, stressful people, toxic workplaces, so you need to step away at times. It's so much in your head. So how does, one deal with such situations? How do you choose to walk away? When do you know when to walk
See,
away?
toxicity is a reality. Uh, Simply because every human journey is different. Each baggage they carry is different. They're not in sync or in the same frequency as you walk forward. We have to accept the reality which is around us. And we have moral responsibility to fix our journey, not other people. You have absolutely no responsibility to fixing other people's problems. It's a great place to start is mind your own business. We caught
Right.
up into fixing all kinds of people and surroundings around us. And don't be stuck up with the outcome. And that's where we fail emotionally. We fail ourselves because we want it to be a certain way. Put in the contribution and see where it goes next. So being okay with the reality, embracing the reality for what it is a great start to uh, appreciate the power within you.
No, I love the way you're very realistic about things because you're saying that people will be difficult, people will
Of
be
course,
toxic. It's a reality, right? Yeah.
yeah, and
Control
you have
yourself.
no responsibility to fix any of it.
Yeah, absolutely. You're talking about the outcome. Can you give an example of the outcome that we, often look towards?
No, it's interesting. This is, I don't know if you've read this thing, Amor Fati.
No, I
So,
haven't.
Amor Fati is embracing your destiny as if you asked for it. So, good or bad, receive it like you asked for it and you've got it. The moment you are open to what is playing in, you'll be open to the work that has to be put in to evolve and grow from it and be happy with it or come to terms with it. Nobody can be happy with terrible things happening. But but the moment you're open to the thing that this is my destiny and this is where uh, I have to improve my game. This is where I need to put in my work to be fit in my journey onwards. We are all learning throughout. Every day, every person we meet, they sort of contribute into our life. We become a little different, a little better, or worse. So choose your company properly. We are influenced by the people around us and the way they look at life. So that's an effort we have to be careful of to keep the company right.
Yeah, and you mentioned earlier also, choose the people that you want to keep in touch with, you want to connect with.
You have to, and you have to grow with them. It's because you have to contribute to their well-being too. It's not about just connecting for your personal journey, but be a part of growth always. And you have the power to influence everybody around us, from the security guard to your mates to everybody. You can inspire their lives. Touch anybody's life you go through it.
Yeah. Ajit, I think this has been very enlightening for even myself if I want to, let's say, make a resolution, not just a New Year resolution,
I
but
would rather you make a resolve.
resolve, right? Yes.
Don't let it be a resolution, which is conclusive. A resolve uh, to embrace and evolve from today.
Right. But we still have to talk about your own journey, your own wellness journey, and
Oh,
what you
that's
on it. Yes. Yeah.
so I've been in marketing all my life. So I've worked in Africa quite a bit for about 15 odd years. And When I got back to India, being not so sure of the working environment, I started up in the fitness industry. Um, so that is where I was personally empowered by connecting with people and how conversations can help them see the better in themselves. There are many people who haven't a clue how good they are. I always tell people, stop cleaning the mirror, clean your face. And that is so true to life. You're trying to fix something which is beyond us when the fixing has to happen within. Cosmetic corrections does not help in the long run. And in that journey of a decade plus that we were helping people lose weight, helping them feel empowered, feel better, feel good about themselves. I always tell people, the fit of the cloth on the mannequin is different when you wear it. So be realistic as to where you want to go in the mind. Accept what is okay with you and what is not okay with you. Train as much as you can, but the right way. Be guided. Ask questions. Let the learning process be very inclusive and very personal to you. You don't have to fit into somebody else's program. You understand what is good for you. And your body is such a beautiful thing. It gives you clear indication as to what is working and what is not working. Only if you just stop and listen. So being in that industry, I also got trained in first aid and CPR. And I basically made sure that I know it because I didn't want anybody to lose their life or suffer when they're training in the gym. Because as you know, of recent, health is a big scare. Post the vaccination, there have been a lot of heart attacks, a lot of strokes. It's been very challenging with very young people dying on the gym floors. Some of them overdoing themselves or whatever it is. But the thing is, we do have a problem that needs to be told. So, and COVID season actually scaled up all problems of the heart. The fear of dying, the sound of the ambulances, it was never ending. And especially if you stay in a locality where there are too many hospitals, it's quite a nightmare to be alive in your home because all you're hearing is ambulances. So during that time, it's interesting that you asked about this. That's when I had a heart attack, and to the fag end of it's actually on December 2nd. It's going to be 3 years now. I saved myself because of the awareness I was gifted with when I did my CPR training. I saw signs, I took help, got to the hospital in about 45 minutes. After restarting I had a pit stop. I still joke about it because I had a heart attack, had a pit stop because the instructions was given to take me to the closest hospital. There they sort of revived me and then moved to a bigger hospital where the surgery was done, and I sort of came out. But the recovery hasn't been easy. This comes to the point of one of the services that I do is that I help people transition through this tough time. We have, most of us at least, are blessed with family and friends who are close. They wish us well. But the challenge is, the most common answer or feedback you get is, don't worry, God is there. Everything will be well. When you clearly know that it's not the case. And having no one to speak to during this transition is not a good place to be. Because after my surgery, I had the COVID vaccine, which didn't go well with me. And my system sort of collapsed for 2 weeks. it's a very scary place for any human being to be. But I knew telling my family would not help, because other than scaring them, there is no possible outcome that could revive or change or elevate my situation. Thankfully, that was the time I was completing my coaching practice, where we're doing a lot of barter coaching. I had some very great partners to barter coach with, and they have been of great help uh, in hearing my apprehensions, my fear, and being accountable partners through that journey, slowly getting me back on my feet uh, with reassurance, giving me the confidence, making me choose what I can do, what I cannot do, be okay with it. It's not the same. And today, of course, I'm in very good health. Last 3 years, I've made transformative change in my physical health and well-being. But the vulnerability is very real for people. Even if you get diagnosed with, a lot of people don't understand the diagnosis well and what the outcome is. Somebody diagnosed with diabetics, they immediately read on Google and they think the life is finished. It is a scary situation where you have to adapt and change your way of life and how you live it, and still have a good life. Same thing with any health fear. I found this conversation that we have with people very promising, because that is where they can be vulnerable and also embrace what they can do, take constructive measures to take them forward in life.
Yeah,
So
thank
that's
you
where
for,
we start.
yeah, no, thank you for sharing your experience. And also the point that you made, it's important to seek help when you're
Yeah,
vulnerable. Yeah.
we have to normalize uh, seeking help. Unfortunately, our society has sort of misinterpreted seeking help as a sign of weakness. I think it's a sign of great strength. Be it a counselor, be it a life coach, uh, nothing changes unless you do. And we have to, through our media, reach out and let people know that winners seek help. And be a winner, because you owe it to yourself.
Yeah, that's a very strong note to end
Yeah.
on. That winners seek help. Yes, absolutely.
No, winners seek help
Yeah.
because they know they're better than what they
Yeah,
are facing now. The reality is, and we owe it to ourselves, man.
absolutely. If we have to get to a certain place and we need some help doing it, why not?
Absolutely.
Hmm.
When we take help for the silliest of things, why not for ourselves?
True.
You go to the bank, you don't know how to fill the form, you ask somebody how to fill the form. Even though you're looking silly, it's all written in English. But when you're okay with doing as simple as that, why are you not taking your own personal wellness more seriously? That's a person who needs 75% of your attention. Everything else is cosmetic. Others are things that you can do or do without. That one person you see in the mirror is worth all your life.
Yeah. And tell me any message that you would like to give for the coming new year? What you would like people to focus on, or anything that they should tell themselves?
Be kind to yourself
Yes.
and live a little.
Live a little, yeah.
No, that's it.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you, Ajit, for doing this. It's been
Thank you so
wonderful.
much.
Yeah.
Likewise, brother. It's been a pleasure. Thank you.